Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bronwyn Wright. I am the Regional Academic Coordinator for Tuition Support. We welcome you to this first session of Miss Elizabeth Boy for Basic Numeracy. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of why we've done this. As many of you know, we are currently going through the COVID-19 epidemic. So we needed an alternative to our face-to-face tutorial support that happened on campus, and we then sought to using Microsoft Teams. We don't know what's going to happen going forward if we will continue using this form of support. What I do request is that you please mute all your microphones by clicking on the microphone button at the bottom of the screen, and you are also to please switch off your video. All conversations or chats that take place will be done in the chat forum, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. So if there are any questions that you need to ask Ms. Boy, please ask it in the chat forum.
Yeah, no, but to show it there.
You need to click on the chat forum to show that that you can see the chat. That is also at the bottom of your screen. You can see it's that little chat box where it says either show conversation or hide conversation. For any technical assistance, if you can't see the files or you can't access the information that Ms. Boy is explaining, you are required to please email CTN Touch. We will try and assist you from there. No technical queries will be answered during the session. It is very important that you understand that. This tutorial will also be recorded and made available to students after the session. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Ms. Boy, who will continue with her class. Please enjoy the session and give us feedback. We will provide you with a survey that you will need to complete at the end of the session. It will be emailed to your MyLife account. Please see the note that Elizabeth has just posted in the chat. You are required to put your student number in the chat so that we can keep a record of which students are attending. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are able to hear me. I also need to take this 30 minutes, not to do any BNU stuff, but just to give you a background and tell you where to find information so that then our conversation online can be as fruitful as possible. You are most welcome to ask me any question while we're still on this administrative, because I know that Bronwyn is still online. They will be able to offer support for any query that you still have. So for this 30 minutes, we're going to just do the orientation of the online platform so that you are familiar with what is happening here. Okay, to start with, I've already posted in the channel. When you go to Teams and you go to the channel where you started before you clicked on join the meeting, there is I'm not sure if you are able to see. Maybe I must share my screen, not the presentation. Let's share the screen so that you can see what I see. Okay, so at the moment you should be seeing the team viewer that you are on.
Yeah.
Viewer, when you joined, you came somewhere here in BNU. You were, and then you clicked on the join meeting, or you joined from your email. Under this area, we call it the channel. Under the channel, there is a file placed there. On here, I have all the notes that we're going to be using. I might not cover all the content on the notes, but certain things that we're going to highlight on the notes are covered on those PDFs. So I'm going to show you, every day when we meet, I'll be using the PowerPoint slide. It is all on there. So you can open them, you can have access to them. There are 6 PDFs in there. You can download them and watch and work through them when you are at home. Most of you might have already been part of my face-to-face tutorial classes when we started. The same documents are the same that you find on that platform that I shared with you. I made it easier and I moved them here so that then everybody who comes to this platform is able to view all the notes, and I don't have to send to anybody in the notes. They are here. That's why. Every week you will receive an email. If we still continue on working like online, you will receive an email which will have a meeting request telling you what topic we're going to be discussing on that day. Like the topic that we're going to be discussing today is just the introduction and the bottommost, and then we look at some little bit of a fraction. It's because for this 1 hour, 30 minutes, I want it to be a refresher to open up for the new or for the content to come, so that then you are not left behind. We are all on the same page. Okay, that's all in terms of the online. You are also most welcome to use any of the icons at the bottom, not really, but as a conversation outside of this meeting, because I won't be able to see them. We can have discussions in terms of BNU on this platform. So you are more than welcome to come back and post your question and ask your questions. We can have those conversation here. It makes life easier. You can even record whatever you want or the problem that you are trying to solve. You can attach a document with your working so that then we can be able to see how you are struggling to answer certain questions, and I can try and figure out and help you notice where your mistakes are. So like now, as Brownman is posting there for any queries that you want to do. So she's typing in the conversation. So you are also going to be able to type in this conversation, and we should be able to see all the conversation and be able to respond, but not now. During our meetings, let's go back to our meetings. Okay, sorry, because I shared my screen now, you're going to see everything that I work on. If I go back to the meeting, which should be, nope. Go back to our meeting. Going back to our meeting, remember the chat, the conversation. While I'm busy presenting, I might not be able to see this because then my slide will fill up the whole screen. But I'm guessing someone will monitor it. If it's technical question, they might respond. The other thing, please remember to always, when you join, it's very important. When you join the session, you unmute yourself. You mute your microphone. You mute your microphone. You only unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. And please do not disturb. If you hear any sound, go quickly check yourself first, because the possibilities are your microphone might be unmuted. Just mute it and then let the class concentrate and we go back to normal. And I think I was very optimistic by putting 30 minutes, and I think I am done. Any questions? If you have any questions, this time not even related to BNU, any question that you want to ask, any, you can ask now before we start with BNU. Then we will still have more time to do other things. There are no questions, so you are all happy. You remember to please write your student numbers. Talent, any question, regardless. Either you can ask any question. This time I'm allowing for any. It doesn't have to be a content related. You can ask any question.
Hi,
Feel
Lucy.
free. Hi.
I just want to know the recording. Some of the people can't access Teams due to technical issues. Are the recording, where will it be posted?
The recording will be on Teams, and also I think, I am not sure, they might send it. They might email the recordings.
Okay, thank you.
If not, Richard, are you online? You can answer
Yes,
that
so
question for them.
what they can do is they can send an email to CT and TAP with their student number, and then we'll request for them for a license. But we will make the recording available on Teams as well, and make sure that it's
Thanks, Richard.
yeah.
Any other question? Remember, this is your chance to ask any question, any. Speak now. Speak now.
Sorry, Lucy. It's Rian
Yes?
again.
No
So
problem.
your Zoom meetings you will no longer be doing that?
I will no longer be doing the Zoom meetings. We move into this platform. So, because I can't handle two platforms at once. Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So you are the lucky one who was getting the Zoom sessions.
Yes, I got a lot done with your input. Thanks.
No problem. I hope you will still contribute on this platform as well. Any other questions? If there are none, then we can move. I'm giving you the last 2 more minutes because I made sure that this session is 30 minutes dedicated to answering any online related questions you want to ask, anything outside of BNU, whether you want to check in with me on COVID-19. I'm well anyway. COVID-19 is not affecting me that much. I'm staying home. I'm keeping my frontline people safe by staying at home and being safe. I hope you are also doing the same.
Hello.
1 minute.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, Lizzie. I just wanted to find out about the exams. Is it still on so far?
Yeah, I think I opened the can of worms. Bronwyn,
Hello.
I'm putting it back to you as a region. Please answer. Exams. Any news? Richard? Mr. Abrams?
Hi, Lizzie. Sorry, I was just having a bit of a problem. We can't give any official communication regarding exams from our side. It needs to come from the Department of, from the exams department. Currently, what the information that students will receive communication every Friday from UNISA, giving the status of what discussions they have had with the relevant departments. That is exams, assignments, everything like that. So the communication that is sent to your My Life email accounts and that is posted on My UNISA, that is the official communication. Until that changes, the status quo remains.
Yes, Ken.
Any other question? Are there no more questions? Remember, after this, I don't want to hear any question about admin, where to find notes, how to contact UNISA, and so forth. We deal with BNU after this. Okay, cool. Since there are no other questions, then we can move on to BNU. Remember to put your student numbers on the chat so that they can see who is attending the session. And thank you to those who responded. You can see a lot of you have responded. So now let's do BNU. Remember,
Sorry, Lizzie.
yes.
I just tuned in now, so I'm a bit confused with this whole setup here. Where do I put my student number?
On the chat.
Must I go by
there
chat?
is,
Oh,
yes.
okay, great.
There is a conversation tool. If you hover on there, next to the phone or the participant, there should be a conversation tool. You click on there, you put your student number there. Okay. So since there are no longer questions, I'm assuming the 15 minutes, it's added extra 15 minutes to our BNU session. And let me welcome you again to the BNU session. Remember, these sessions are very interactive. So you can ask as many questions, but you also need to contribute when I ask you a question. Since I won't be able to see your work and I cannot confirm whether you are doing what I'm asking you to do, I will rely on you responding to my questions when I ask. And yeah, I think with that, let me just start. Are you seeing the presentation? I'm hoping that you are able to see the presentation that I have up.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Like I said, we're going to start from the beginning. So those who have done this twice already with me, you will get bored, but it doesn't matter. Learning is learning. How many times you hear it will also help. So we're going to, I'm not going to tell you what all those things, those are part of what we do in the face-to-face. We're going to start with numbers and rounding off. Must always remember, when we're working with BNU, we are working with numbers. So it means we are going to be solving numbers. You need to understand what are those numbers and how to manipulate them. And this is the best place to start, by understanding how to do the rounding off in your module, how to perform your basic operations, how to explain what are the variables and how to use them, and how to do the basic powers and exponents. And those are the parts that we're going to be covering today. The others, we will cover them the other days. And we're going to look at how do we apply basic operation in terms of fraction and decimal at the later stage. So let's start with rounding off. Because when we're working with numbers, whether positive numbers or negative numbers, lucky enough for your module, you don't have to understand what are the types of numbers we have. You only need to know that they are integers. And we also work with decimal numbers. Those are the two formats that you will encounter in your module. And when we talk about integers, we talk about positive integers and negative integers, because all the numbers, you can put them on a number line. So when you manipulate these numbers, when you're adding them, dividing them, adding by using the basic operations or by applying the basic operations, which are addition, subtraction, and multiplication, sometimes, especially when you divide a number, it ends up becoming a decimal number. So it changes from being a whole number divided by a whole number to becoming a decimal number. What do I mean by a decimal number? Decimal number is a number which has a comma. So a 0,21. It's a decimal because there are two decimal places, the numbers after the comma. Since this is not pure math, we're going to jump a whole lot of things and go straight to only getting you what you need to know about what do you do to reduce those numbers. And that is the process we call rounding off. And the process of rounding off, it means we are reducing, instead of having two decimal places, we only want one decimal place, which means we only want at 0.2. We don't want two decimal places, we only want one. There are rules to doing that in your module. If the value to the right of where you want to round off to, I want to round to one decimal, I must look to the right. The right is 1. If that value to the right is more than 5 or equals to 5, then I must add 1 to this value. That is the rule number 1. So it means if I have 1,2246, if I have 1,2246, and I want to round off this number to only 3 decimal places, it means there are 1, 2, 3, 4 places, and I only want 3 places. I want to stop at number 4. The rule says if the number to the right, which is 6, if it's bigger than or equals to 5, I must add 1 to 4. So the answer will be 1,225 because 6 is bigger than or equals to 5. Therefore, 4, I add 1 to it, it becomes 5. That's one rule. Rule number 2, if it's less, if that number is not equal or bigger than, which means it's less than 5, I do nothing. I have 2,4223, and I want to round to 3 decimal places. And to do that, 1, 2, 3, it means I must stop at 2. Therefore, the number to the right of 2 is 3. It is less than 5, so I do nothing to 2. 2,422 will be your answer. However, you need to note the following. When you work with numbers, you only round off if you see the option in your answer sheet. If it's 2 decimal places, therefore it means you need to round off to 2 decimals. If the answer on there is 3 decimal, it means your final answer should be 3 decimal. The other thing is you do not have to round off while you're still in a problem mode, meaning while you're still adding things together and dividing and multiplying together things. Do not round off. Write the number as it is and only round off at the end, because the minute you start rounding off, you are chopping away the important numbers and you are increasing the numbers unnecessarily. And therefore, when you get to your final answer, you will get a higher number or a lower number because you did the rounding off as early as possible. When we do financial maths, we will get to that. Make sure that when you divide by 100, your interest stays as is with those decimals. You keep all the decimals. For example, what do I mean? Let's say your answer or your interest rate is, let's say your interest rate is 7.25. When you divide 7.25 by 100, when you divide by 100, the answer becomes 0.0725. You doing the math right? Am I doing the math wrong? Yes. Okay, sorry for that, but I had to go and do that. So I was saying 7.25, if we divide it by 100, the answer becomes 0.725. And you need to keep it that way. You keep all the decimal places. You do not round them off. When you're working with money, especially when we go do financial math or we calculate the growth rate and the profit and the revenues, please remember that money is to 2 decimal places because we're working with cents. Unless they ask you to leave your answer to the nearest rand. Otherwise, every time you work with money, money is always to 2 decimal places. If the question asks you to round off to an integer, it means they're asking you to round to a whole number. Like a 1, 1,000, 100, a million. Those are an integers. They're like your whole numbers. I'm going to take 5 minutes. This 5 minutes, I'm going to ask you to round off A, B, and C. You have 5 minutes to do this exercise. Like I said, I'm going to ask you to do some activities and I will rely on you to answer those activities and respond when I ask you a question. And this is that time. A, B, and C, 5 minutes. And if you have any question, feel free to ask while you're busy. Nothing is stopping you from asking those questions.
have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, for example, on A, it's basically the same number. So, so if it's a long number like that, if we want to arrive at, say, 2 decimal places, should we start from the very first one to see if it's above 5 or below 5, or we just look at the very last one, the third one?
For this module content, I will advise you to just look at the one to the right of that number you want to look to round off
Okay.
to. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Maybe
Okay. I think 5 minutes was way too long for you guys. Is there anyone who's still working on the problem? Should be easy. Everybody should have been done by now. You have 44 seconds. I'll give you that 44 seconds. And remember to please mute yourself. Okay, how far? Are we all done? And that's my clock to tell me that everybody should be done.
What? Alex? Huh? These fish is done? No, we're gonna make fish for the Passover, for Good Friday. Okay.
Okay. What are the answers? Number A. When we round to 3 decimal places, anyone can answer that question. Let me see if you know how to round off. Anybody can answer.
Age 20,545.
A is
20,545.
to 3 decimal places is 20,545. Because we look at the right of the number, it's equals to 4. Therefore, we do nothing to 5. And round to 2 decimal places. Number B. Anyone can answer?
20,55.
20,55. Because when we round to 2 decimal, we add 1 to 5 because 1 to 4 because 5 is bigger than or equals to 5. And the last one, round to an integer. Let's hear the answers. The first one?
Ma'am,
Yep.
the answer is 21, ma'am. For C, ma'am.
The answer is 21. Others?
Yes,
Do you agree? Anyone who has a different answer? Okay, silence.
21,00.
21,00.
Sorry, ma'am?
No?
Okay, ma'am, maybe explain us the last one, ma'am, how to do that one for, in this case now, ma'am, if it's an integer now, ma'am.
Round to an integer. Therefore, it means you need to round to a whole number. Therefore, you also look at the right of that number, because the right of 0 is a 5.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is bigger than or equals to 5. Therefore, what do you do to 0?
That means it will change to a 1, ma'am.
Then it will change to a 1. And the answer is
21, ma'am. Okay,
Yes.
now
The
get
reason
it, ma'am.
why I asked who has a different view from yours is to see if people understood the same way as you would have understood it. And I already saw one person said it's 21,00. What's wrong with that? They still put it as a decimal place because they still include the zeros at the end. So an integer will just be 21.
Okay, ma'am. Now got it, ma'am.
Okay. So that would have concluded what we were supposed to do 30 minutes ago with introduction, and I was supposed to start with this session just now. Okay, now we're going to look at how we apply the Bottommost rule in terms of when we are solving basic operations. And we know that our basic operations are addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. But when we apply this, in maths, there are laws like additive laws and multiplicative law. I don't want you to go and start thinking about those. You're not doing pure maths. It's not necessarily for you to know those laws. The only rule you need to know, which is very important and easy to always remember, is the Bottommost rule. If you know how to do the Bottommost rule for this module, you will be able to solve most of the things in this module. So, what does the Bottommost rule mean? Bottommost is just brackets. We're going to use O for the powers or exponentiations or exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Therefore, it means brackets comes before everything else. If you have an equation that has brackets, you first solve the brackets. What is inside the brackets first? If you have powers, you first have to resolve the powers before you can do anything else. Multiplication and division have the same priority. Therefore, it means if any question comes with a multiplication or it comes with a division, you first need to do them first. The reason why I'm not saying division comes before multiplication is because division and multiplication have the same priorities. Therefore, it means if the equation has both of them, you work from left to right. So if you have an equation that says 2 multiplied by 4 divide by 2, you work from left to right. You say 2 multiplied by 4, it's 8 divided by 2, it's 4. That's how you work it out. Also, addition and subtraction has the same priorities. So it means also if the equation that you are solving has any of those in it, you work from left to right. They have the same priorities. Let's look at an example. If I have 5 plus 40 divided by 5 multiplied by 12 divided by 3. I have 5 plus 40 divided by open bracket, 5 multiply by, open bracket, 12 divide by 3, close bracket, close bracket. We need to remember our Bottommost rule. Bottommost says brackets first, exponents or powers, division and multiplication with the same priorities. Addition and subtraction also have the same priorities. If I go to our question or our equation here, it says addition, division, brackets, multiplication, bracket, division. Therefore, it means brackets comes first. So I must solve the brackets. With the brackets, there are 2 brackets. So I must solve what is inside the brackets first. Solving what is inside the brackets first, there are 2 brackets. So it means I must solve the first inner bracket first. Five plus 40 divide by, open bracket, 5. I can write multiplication with a bracket. It still means the same thing. 12 divided by 3. 3 goes how many times into 12? It goes 3, 6, 9, 12, 4 times. So the answer here will be equals to 4. And I can close that bracket. I still have a bracket, so I must solve what is inside the bracket. I can also would have written this as a multiplication without having the bracket there. So this, it means one and the same thing. 5 multiplied by 4. I must still remove the bracket. To remove the bracket, we have 5 plus 40 divided by 5 multiplied by 4, it's equals to 20. We go back and consult our Bottommost because now I'm left with addition and division. Division comes before addition, so I must do division first. 40 divided by 20, 40 divided by 20 is equals to 2. Therefore, it must always have the equal sign because this is equal, equal, equal. 5 plus 2 is equals to 7. And that's how you apply the Bottommost rule. And with that said, you have only one question, 5 minutes to answer it. I'm going to give you the very complicated one. Let me see which one between the two is very complicated. Please do number C. C, only C. Don't try and do A, B, and C. This is your activity. You have 5 minutes. I'm going to put a timer on. 5 minutes, then we're done with Bottommost rule, then we can move to another thing. And your 5 minutes starts right now. Only number C. I will check back in 5 minutes. But if you have any question, feel free to ask. Okay. Are you still busy? Let us know if you are still busy so I can give you 1 more minute to finish up. If there are no answers, then it means I'm going to continue. And that tells me your 5 minutes is done. Okay, let's have the answers. Let's see how many versions we have. 8?
I got an 8, yes.
And the others? What did you get? Let's see how many versions you have. You have?
8.
Wait, let's do
I
one
also
by
got 8.
Okay, the other one
I also have an 8.
Okay.
I also got 8, ma'am.
Okay, the others?
-32.
I got 8.
Okay.
I got 32.
Okay, those who got 8, you can stop it right now. Yeah, I got the sense that you all got 8, but there are others who didn't get an 8. Let's hear the others who are not 8.
-32.
I got 32.
32 and -32.
Yes,
I got
-32.
Negative 32. Okay, so we have 2 different answers. Yay, let's see who is
3
right.
actually.
3 answers, yes. So let's help each other out. Oh, sorry, I don't want to go out. Okay, I didn't want to go out. My mistake, my bad. I want to go back to my black screen. So we have 40 minus 4 times 5 plus 8 plus 20. Am I writing it right? Yes. Okay. So who wants to start? What do we do first?
We solve the brackets first.
We solve the bracket first. So since you started talking, let's continue. It's 40 minus 4. What is inside the bracket?
That's 13.
13 plus 20.
20. Yes.
This is the same as 40 minus 4 multiplied by 13.
Yes.
Plus 20. What's next?
Then you put 40 down again.
Put 40 down again. Oh, what do we solve first?
The multiplication first.
The multiplication first. Okay. Then what
Yes.
do we do?
Then it's negative 4 times 13. It gives you 52. Then it's negative 52.
Minus 52. And then
plus
we also
20.
Okay. Yes?
Yes. And then you said the negative and the positive have the same priority, so we start from left to right. Then it's
yes, they have the same priority. We work from left to right. Good.
to right. Yes.
Yes.
Then you have 40 minus 52, which gives you negative 12 plus 20.
Yes.
And then minus 12 plus 20 gives you an 8, and then we take the sign of the bigger number. We subtract and then we take the sign of the bigger number.
And those who have an 8, you deserve a chocolate. You can go after the lockdown. You got it right. Those who didn't get it right, we need to have a serious talk. We can discuss this after the class when we on the chat, how we can help you get everything right when you apply the Bottommost rule. Remember Bottommost? Brackets first, exponents or powers, Multiplication and division have the same priority. If both are pairs, we work from left to right. Same with addition and subtraction, we work from left to right. Don't worry, you still have more time to do the practice. There are more questions on there. You can use them as your practice exercise. And that concludes our Bottommost Rule. And that's what we were supposed to cover in this 30 minutes of time. Do you have any question before we start another session, which is our last session, which is fractions? Do you have any questions? If there are no questions with this regard, then we go straight to fractions. I'm going to skip all of them and go directly to where I want you to be. Fractions. Like I said, everything you need to know about your BNU is part of the notes. You will have access. You have access to the notes. You can go and follow the notes. If you have any questions, you can post on the chat. We can talk about it on the group. Okay. So fractions. With fractions, you also have this, but I'm going to hide this presentation and work through the fraction outside of this presentation. I will write them out so that then I can use them. Okay, so let's do fractions. Fractions are part of a whole. And in this module, I don't have to go to the basic to help you understand what is a fraction and how do we build it. All you need to know is we have different types of fractions. We have what we call a proper fraction, which a proper fraction, it means we have a smaller number at the top and a bigger number at the bottom. So what I didn't do is also very bad to tell you how to write the fraction. Me, I'm assuming you know what the fraction is. So a fraction, because it's a part of a whole, it means we have what we call a numerator at the top, a numerator at the top, and we have a denominator at the bottom. Do you know? Denominator at the bottom. I don't know how to write now. I must go back to grade 1 to learn how to write. So we have a numerator and a denominator at the bottom. When we talk about a proper fraction, your numerator is small. So let's say it's 1, and your denominator is big. Therefore, it can be any other value than. So a proper fraction will be a small numerator, the number at the top is small, and a bigger denominator, which means the number at the bottom is big. Then you also have what we call improper fraction. An improper fraction, your numerator is big and your denominator is small. That is what we call an improper fraction. When we have an improper fraction, we can simplify it and make it or change it to be in a simpler. And a simpler form of an improper fraction is what we call a mixed fraction. And a mixed fraction is from an improper fraction. We say 3 goes how many times into 4? It goes 1 time. The remainder is 1 over 3. We can move between improper fraction and mixed fraction as and when we answer and solve fractions. And that's what we're going to be doing today. If our final answer is in an improper fraction, we can convert it to be a mixed fraction. If we are given a mixed fraction, we can move it to become an improper fraction. And let's start solving, adding and multiplying of fractions. Okay, so if we add fractions, when we add, we're doing addition of fraction. Let's call it addition. Addition of fraction, we need to find the common denominator if the denominator, which is the number at the bottom, is not the same. So for example, if I have 1 over 5 plus 2 over 10, both of them have different denominators. If I need to solve this, I need to find the common denominator. And this applies when you have addition and subtractions. So for any addition and subtraction of fractions, you need to find the common denominator. So what is the common denominator between 5 and 10? It's 10. And what is a denominator? A denominator is a number that both the denominators can divide into and not leave a remainder. That is a common denominator. A common denominator, it is that denominator where both the denominators can divide into and not leave a remainder. So 5 goes how many times into 10? It goes 2 times. 5 goes 2 times, but we still need to multiply with the numerator. Multiply by 1 plus 10 goes how many times into 10? It goes 1 time times, and we still multiply that with the numerator. And the answer, 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Divide by 10. And the answer here will give us 4 divided by 10. There is a number that can go into both of them. 2 can go into 4. 2 goes 2 times into 4, and it goes 5 times into 10. And therefore, your final answer becomes 2 over 5. So when you solve fractions, you also need to simplify them to their lowest form. And that is addition and subtraction of fractions. I have a question which will take you only 2 minutes to do, or 5 minutes. I'm still going to stick with my 5 minutes because I think it works best. Here is your question. There is your question. Solve the fraction. Solve the fraction. That's your exercise. It starts in 5 minutes. And your exercise has started. Solve this fraction.
Lizzie,
Yes.
my final answer is 2/4.
Wait, I'm still getting there. Wait,
Okay.
I will ask, you will be the person to answer that question since you started. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds. You have 20 seconds. I hope you are wrapping up. And that tells me your time is up. So let's hear the answers. Let's see if we get the same answers. If not, then we will have to work it out. Answers? The first one?
1/2.
2/4.
1/2. And anybody who didn't get
4/4.
So you all got 1/2. I'm assuming if you all got 1/2, it means you all know how to answer the question. Anybody who got different answer, speak now or forever. Hold your peace. Because if 1/2 is not correct, I must redo it on the board. So you all got 1 over 2.
Okay.
Okay. So 1 over 2 is the right one. So if you didn't get 1 over 2 and you kept quiet, it's your own fault, because I'm not going to redo this question, because then if everybody got 1 over 2, it means everybody did the answers right. I'm moving on. Thank you very much.
I got 2 over 4.
You see, you must talk when I ask. You have 3 over?
No, 2 over 4.
2 over 4. Who else got a different answer? Okay, you still have the right answer. The only problem you did is you didn't simplify it further, because 2 and 4 can divide each other. If you simplify it, you will see you will have the same answer as everybody. 2 can go into 2 and it also can go into 4. It goes into 2 1 time and it goes into 4 2 times, and the answer will be 1 over 2. So I'm assuming I'm assuming you as well, you have the answer correct. Okay, so I
Yes.
if you didn't get it right, you're also
do we have to leave half past or can we leave 20 past?
okay.
The class is until 1:30.
Lizzie,
Yes.
Only before then.
you assist me with this exercise, name. I missed you on the first one that you did. I got stuck on the second step. So I would really love to see your answer or how you got to it.
How did I go to what now?
To the final answer.
Which exercise?
For the second one, my love. What you are busy with currently?
Hey, but I asked, did you get an answer? You guys didn't answer.
At the same time, my love.
Next time when I ask, because of the sake of the time, you need to respond as early as possible. So
Noted. Guess when you can go 20 past.
3
leave the class.
Can you please switch off your mic? Whoever is talking about let's go at 1:30 or 20 past while I'm still writing here, please make sure that your mics are off.
Thank you.
Okay. So how do we solve this? We find the common denominator, which is 8. 4 goes how many times into 8? It goes 2 times, and we multiply with the numerator, which is 3, minus. For 8 goes how many times into 8? It goes 1 time. Multiply that with 2. 2 times 3, it's 6, minus 1 times 2 is 2 over 8. I think from here you can pick it up and continue.
Thank you.
Pick it up from here?
I got it, yeah. Thanks.
No problem. Okay, so moving on. Let's look at multiplication of fractions. Let's say we have 1 over 4 multiplied by 2 over 6. When we do multiplications, there are many ways to do the multiplication, and I'm going to do all the ways. So the first way that we're going to do, it's from here. We're going to do multiply what the numerator and the numerator divide by multiply what the denominator and denominator. So we're going to multiply them together. So numerator multiply with numerator, denominator multiply with denominator. That's number 1. Let's do it. We say 1 times 2, 1 multiplied by 2 over 4 multiplied by 6. And the answer will be 2 over 24. Because 1 multiplied by 2 is 1, and 4 multiplied by 6 is 24. And to simplify it further, two can go into 2. It goes 1 time into 2, and it goes 12 times into 24. And the final answer here becomes 1 over 12. That's 1. Number 2, 1 over 4 multiplied by 2 over 6. We can do an up and down simplification first and an up and down simplification. We can simplify the numerator and the denominator first before we do anything else. So let's do that. And this becomes 1 can go into 4, and it will still stay the same as 1 over 4. 2 goes 1 time into 2, and it goes 3 times into 6. And that will be 1 over 3. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. That is one way of doing it. The last way of doing things I'm not sure if you are able to see a blue pen. Let's change blue to white. Let's go back to white. That would be 1 over 4 multiplied by 2 over 6. In this one, we do a crisscross. So we simplify first diagonally. Let's do that. We say 2 goes 1 time into 2, and it goes 2 times into 4. And the answer we get is 1 multiplied by 1 divided by 2 multiplied by 6. And this is 1 over 12. As you can see, all three of them are doing the same thing. And that is multiplication. Your question is to solve the following. Okay, I was looking if I can find a question. There is no question there. I'm going to ask you to solve a question. One over 2 multiplied by 3 over 5. Easy one. Number 2, 1 over 4 multiply by 8 over 9. Let's make it that way. You have 2 questions. Question number 1 and question number 2. Because it's easy to do, you also have 5 minutes to answer both of them. You have 1 minute 40 seconds. And that tells me it's your time's up. Okay. One person can answer one and the other person can answer the other one. Or you can do both. Who's volunteering? Okay.
The first question, the answer is 3/20. And the next one is 2/9.
Yes, I want you to tell me how you did it.
Okay.
Yes. Let's first with number one. Give me the steps. What do I do? What did you do?
I just multiply the numerator of the numerator and the denominator of the denominator. And then it's 3/20.
Okay. And the other one?
I did the same way again, the same method. 1 times 8 over 4 times 9.
And the answer?
The answer is 8 over 36. Then we multiply by 4, because 4 can go into 8, giving us 2, and can also go into 36, giving us 9.
Are you all happy? And those are your answers. Yes. Are you all happy? Okay. We have 5 minutes. In this 5 minutes, I'm going to steal that 5 minutes because it was not planned. I was not going to do it, but I feel you need to know this. Division of fractions. It is very important for you to know how to divide fractions. Let's say I have 1/4 divided by 2/4. When you deal with divisions, there is a method, the simpler method of doing this. It's what we call KCF. What it means is keep the first equation, change the sign to a multiplication, and then flip the second equation. So it means we change the equation. The numerator become our denominator, the denominator become numerator. We keep the first, 1/4. We change the sign to a multiplication, and we flip the equation. 4/2. That's all what you do. Then you can apply the multiplication. Oops, I lost that. because now when I go out, it's gonna lose all the information quickly. Divide by 2 over 4, KCF. You remember, keep, change, flip. My bad. 1 over 4, multiply, and we flip. 4 divided by 2. And we can apply the simplification. 4 can go into 4 and it goes into 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. And there we go. And that's how you simplify the division of fraction. Any questions? And then we can call it a quiz. So far, for today, you learned how to do the rounding off. You learned how to work with Bottommost, and you learned how to do fraction within 1 hour, 30 minutes. That's an achievement. You should pat yourself at the back and say, wow, I've done it today. See you the next time I see you, which I think hopefully it will be next week if they don't say the quarantine or the lockdown is done. Otherwise, if you have any questions, let me know.
Hi, Lizzie. Can you please add me to the group?
Which group now?
The WhatsApp group.
Hi. I don't add people to the group.
Oh,
People
so can
add
you get the link?
to the WhatsApp group. Let me give you the detail on how you join the group.
Okay, thank you.
Easy to join the group. This is BNU. So you go to bit.ly.com and you press / you do BNU one word, ne? / one word. And this is a dash. You do the dash, not the underscore, but dash, no spaces in between. BNU in capital letters, 1501 / and I think it's called Cape Town or Paro. If this one doesn't work, then it means this is Cape Town. I am not sure which one is which. So you can try both.
It's Paro. It's Paro.
It's Paro. Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Some people know what it is. There we go.
In
Oh, actually,
Thank you so much, guys.
Wait. While you're still there, I think I have the information here. There we go. There we go. There we go. That is the information you need. Everything we just went through, there are videos that are also uploaded, but you can use the video that we just went through today because it's different to the ones on there. The notes, you don't have to worry because I've uploaded them onto the channel, the WhatsApp. It's only that. That's the only thing I wanted to show you. So you can ignore those ones and those ones. But you can't because already you have seen that. There's no way that you're going to ignore that. Okay, if you have any question, remember, don't forget, you can chat on the channel. We can discuss anyway. And thank you for joining today's session. Bye. Enjoy the rest of the week and your Easter holidays in the lockdown. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye, Lizzie. Thanks. Enjoy your Easter.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.